What's up, Everyday Blades? What a pawn shop treasure find I got yesterday. So, I have always scoured the pawn shops for modern folders, maybe a little bit older, maybe up to 5 or 10 years old tops. I never paid attention to the older knives till I started watching the Knife Doctor's channel and saw that some of these actually got some value. There's people out there that collect them. Not millions of people, but there's still people out there that collect them. So I've been kind of keeping my eye out for some older knives too. Being that most of the modern folders are all dried up. I mean, I just can't find them. Rarely ever do I find a knife at a pawn shop anymore. And there for a couple of years, I was on fire. Even found a Koenig Mini Goblin in the box in a pawn shop for nothing, for a third of what it's worth or less. But these are in the mother load for these older knives are the case knives. There's some of those case knives are worth a fortune, and there's some of them that aren't worth hardly anything. And the key is knowing the difference. These are the stepbrother to the case. These are the Schrade knives. They're all made in the USA, good quality knives. They're just not case knives. But I believe I got a deal on these, and I believe I'll make a few dollars on them. I don't believe I'll lose anything on them, but there was a total of 25. Right now, there's 22 left here. I sold 3 of them and shipped them already, but they were just copies of what's here. So, I've listed all these on eBay because, as you know, in my group, most of it's modern folders. I don't think there's hardly anybody in there that buys this older stuff, but there may be, but man, it's a lot of work listing all this stuff. I just stuck it on eBay, and it's a lot bigger audience on there. Somebody will buy it. I thought about putting it all together and selling it as a collection, but there's too many duplicates, triplicates, and quadruplicates in here. It's not really a collection. It's just like 3 or 4 knives, and there's a bunch of them. So I wanted to go through a few of them. And first of all, 90% of what you see here are Schrade Scrimshaw knives. Scrimshaw is a form of carving, and every one of them has a different theme on it, and they're all on this ivory Delrin. Delrin is a type of plastic that mimics ivory, and it's really nice. It's beautiful. I mean, these knives feel great. The actions are good on them. They weren't as good from just sitting. They had dust and stuff, and I had to clean them all and oil them up and go through the whole shenanigans because they were just sitting in a box forever collecting dust. But now they're all super nice, and the actions work good. So on these older knives, you got to go to the Tang stamp to tell what year they are. Now, case, you can look at them and there's a chart and you can tell exactly what year that knife was made. Schrade wasn't that good. You can kind of tell a decade they were made if you're lucky. These were like late 70s, early 80s knives. And these were made, and that's pretty easy because all the Scrimshaw knives were made between the 70s and 80s. So this is a old collection someone had years ago. And these were kind of made to be collector's knives, I think. But man, I would absolutely carry one of these knives. They're really cool and they're well built. But what's different is some of them have a serial number right there, and then you can find the exact same knife in a different pattern, right? Like this one has a different pattern. This one doesn't have a serial number on it. So that's one thing that would probably tell 2 different years apart, but I don't have that much information on it. Some of them come in boxes like this, and they had a case. Some of them come in boxes like this, and they don't have a case. But I just want to go through a few of them, and then some of them, like these little tiny ones, I think these are cool as heck. So we'll start with this model here. This is oh boy, 513. Oh, here, I got it written right here. 513 SC. I believe these are stainless steel. I don't know what the opening is right here. I don't know if that's where you can put your name or something like that. It's kind of like a picture frame for them to allow you to carve something in there, I guess. But just really, it feels a lot like ivory. I mean, they did a great job with that Delrin. But this is a 513. All of these are single blades. That's one of the reasons why I bought it. I really, on the older knives, I don't care for like 3-bladed knives. They served a purpose back then because, one blade was for one thing, one blade was for another, and you kept one really sharp for, I don't know, shaving or something. But with today's knives, you just keep your main blade sharp and it stays sharp forever. So you just don't need multi-bladed knives. Even though some of them are worth a lot of money, for me, if I end up keeping some of these, I wouldn't want a multi-bladed knife. I like all these being single blade. So anyway, this is a 513 SC. It's a little smaller. You can tell by my hand. Compared to like this knife. These two came with sheaths. This one is a 515 SC. And I don't know what the SC stands for. I don't know if it's stainless, something else, or what, but you can see the difference in these two. That's the largest one I have. I have 3 of these. 2 of them have sheaths. But they're pretty thin knives, and they're good looking knives. All these 515s and the 513s are lockbacks. And the knife that I have the most of is the, what was the model? 503 SC. I have, with or without a box, I have 1, 2, oh, there's another 515. I have 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 of these 503 SCs. I mean, this guy must have really liked this knife because he bought a ton of them. And this one is a liner lock. It has a brass deal you push over right there and then close the knife. And it's got like a half stop, it feels like. It got kind of a half stop. But they all have brass liners. Yeah, he must like fishing because every one of these is a fish theme. Except for like there's a beaver and look, that one looks like a goat. There's a raccoon, and then the rest of them are all fish. This is another knife. So it looked like this is Uncle Henry. It looked like in my research that Schrade must have purchased Uncle Henry and another company. It was Uncle Henry and Old Timer. So it looked like Schrade must have purchased them because the names are all mixed together. Because this one says Uncle Henry and then Schrade underneath it. This one he must have carried in his pocket because it's got little key dings all over. This is the only knife in this collection that has sign of use. And it looks like it may have even been sharpened. So he must have really liked this one and carried it. And then this one is a Schrade. It's not a Scrimshaw. It's a regular Schrade. Has the wood handles on it. I just think these little knives are cool. And a little keychain hook on it. And then this other one is a little mini Scrimshaw knife. And this one is a LB ISQ. I don't know. But super neat. They're just pretty knives. I mean, they're all the way around. A little lockback. And for some reason, these little ones came in this, a case like that. All the rest of these came in these traditional boxes. Let me see. Here's another little one. This one's sold here. So Uncle Henry LB1. Good looking little knife. And then, let's see, went over that one now. So I guess there's only like, out of all these here, there's only like 3 or 4 models. Because they got this model, which is the same as this one. And then this model, which is what's in the pouches, and then all the little knives. So he liked collecting a lot. And I could see these because they're different themes. But like this one here is the same knife with the same theme all the way down. 3 of them. But he liked his Scrimshaw knives, whoever he was. It was at a little podunk pawn shop right outside of Houston. We almost didn't stop, and I thought, man, I better stop. And I walked in there and seen all these, and he had just got them bought from my guy. I'm sure he paid him nothing for them. And I bought them, I didn't pay up for them, but it was a lot of money to me for what this is. So, I listed all these on eBay, so if anybody wants one, you can go on eBay and look at them. They'll be pretty easy to find. Just search under Schrade Scrimshaw. If you see one here that you like, message me. I'll sell it to you if you're interested. I'd much rather sell it outright than sell it on eBay. It's just, I didn't put them in my group because most people are not in that group. They're mainly interested in modern folders. So, anyway, I wanted to show that off to you. You should have seen the receipt. They had to, even though I bought them in a bulk collection, they had to enter them one by one by one. It took them a solid hour to do it. But we got out of there and got them bought. But I want to thank the knife doctor for tipping me off and opening my eyes up to a different market of knives. And mainly I bought them to be able to do videos and stuff like this on, and kind of look back and see where knives came from. When I was growing up, I would have killed to have this knife. I mean, these are nice knives compared to what I had growing up. I had rough. This was my first pocket knife. This is not it, but it was the same thing as a Camp King, just like this. And this was broke off of it. One of the tools was broken, and the blade was wore down to almost nothing. It was like a half wore down, and I got that. It was like one of my uncle's old knives. But to me, it was the coolest thing in the world. I was armed now. I had a knife. I was a man. So, and then I got this. I did a video on this last week. I also have this beautiful case knife with the sheath, and I have it listed on eBay as well. But look at that knife and sheath is 48 years old. I don't think it's ever even opened an envelope. Beautiful. And these don't fetch the kind of money that they're all sub $100 knives. They don't fetch the kind of money that our modern folders and stuff do, but I still think they're cool. If I end up having to keep every one of them, it wouldn't hurt my feelings. I like having them. I like the history and the craftsmanship made in the USA. Guys, if you're not subscribed, please throw us a subscribe. It helps us out. It doesn't cost you a thing. God bless you and your family. Say a prayer for our country. Good night.